When everyone realizes that moment, until the 1,000-year sunlight finally rises at this time, seeing the sunlight gradually emerge, Muzan Kibutsuji reveals an incredulous look, his own body in competition, pulled by these weaklings until sunrise, while Muzan Kibutsuji's body is pinned tightly to the wall by Tanjiro and the others, at the boundary between life and death. Using a final counterattack move, the shockwave unleashed earlier spreads in all directions with Muzan Kibutsuji as the center. Sa Animishai Nazuga Washington and Obanai Iguro are both blown away, standing right in front of Tanjiro, even losing an arm. But even so, Tanjiro still tightly grips the Nichiren blade. He absolutely must not let go. The chance to kill Muzan Kibutsuji is right before his eyes. Continuing to pour strength into burning his inner resolve, he must make the Nichiren blade glow red again. At this moment, a hand grabs Tanjiro's Nichiren blade. It's Fu Gang, seeing Muzan Kibutsuji about to break free, immediately joining the fight. The two from the same school have reached their physical limits. In the state of both having lost an arm, miraculously, they manage to make the Nichiren blade glow red. The blazing red blade burns Muzan Kibutsuji's body, even though it's the body of the Demon King. In this state of extreme exhaustion, suffering severe damage, and Muzan Kibutsuji's body under the gradually rising sun begins to disintegrate. Muzan Kibutsuji is very clear. If he only shrinks his body size at this moment, he might turn to ash in an instant. Muzan Kibutsuji immediately creates on his body's surface a layer of flesh armor to protect himself. His body size suddenly expands. Tanjiro, closest to Muzan Kibutsuji, is sucked inside. Seeing this situation, Hualizi AI immediately orders they must prevent Muzan Kibutsuji from escaping into the darkness. Receiving the order, the swordsmen exert all their strength to stop Muzan Kibutsuji's actions. In the previous battle with Muzan Kibutsuji, they couldn't directly confront him, but now the chance to kill Muzan Kibutsuji is right before their eyes. Everyone gives their all, trying every possible method. They must end Muzan Kibutsuji today. Even the support team members, at this final moment, join the fight. They are very clear that after a night of intense battle, the Hashira have no strength left to fight. So no matter what happens, they must not retreat, not even half a step. Pin him down tightly. As long as everyone works together, there's nothing to fear. Seeing this situation, Hualizi AI is extremely worried. He doesn't want to see his comrades die at Muzan Kibutsuji's hands, so he hopes everyone will retreat. I will think of the next move, but Sa Animishai Nazuga Washington, heavily injured, attacks Muzan Kibutsuji once again. However, his severely wounded body, after finishing the attack, collapses to the ground. Sa Animishai Nazuga Washington fiercely glares at Muzan Kibutsuji. You damn bastard, you're really persistent. At this point, just turn to ash already. And right in front, the support team members block Muzan Kibutsuji's advance, overcoming the fear in their hearts, facing Muzan Kibutsuji directly. But when Muzan Kibutsuji is about to climb onto the vehicle's roof, they are also extremely terrified. And at that moment, a chain wraps around Muzan Kibutsuji's neck. It's Gyo Mei Haimijima, who just woke up, joining the fight. Despite having lost a leg, causing a lack of balance, he still manages to stop Muzan Kibutsuji's actions and successfully pulls Muzan Kibutsuji back. Under the sunlight, Muzan Kibutsuji's body gradually collapses, realizing he cannot escape. Muzan Kibutsuji tries to burrow underground. The swordsmen, still capable of fighting, attack Muzan Kibutsuji's body at this moment, but in the end they are all heavily injured. At this point, the strength of their attacks is too weak, completely unable to stop Muzan Kibutsuji effectively. The chain pulling Muzan Kibutsuji is about to break, but that is already the limit of the Demon Slayer course. Clearly, they've reached the final step, and it still isn't enough. And at that moment, Tanjiro, swallowed by Muzan Kibutsuji, once again makes the Nichiren blade glow red. Muzan Ki Butsuji burned by the blade not only stops digging, but also stands upright, and the sun at this moment fully rises. After becoming a demon, Muzan Ki Butsuji, who survived 1,000 years, finally turns to ash under the sunlight. 1,000 years of history. Demon King Muzan Ki Butsuji finally turns to ash under the sunlight. All members of the Demon Slayer Corps are overjoyed, having fought Muzan Ki Butsuji for 1,000 years. Finally, in this era, they slay Muzan Ki Butsuji. However, after a brief moment of rest, everyone immediately busies themselves, rallying their spirits. Don't let your guard down. Hurry and save the wounded. When everyone comes before Gyo Mei Jaime Jima, preparing to treat him, Gyo Mei Jaime Jima refuses everyone's kindness. Knowing clearly the state of his body at this moment, using these precious medicines on me would only be a waste. Go help the younger ones. Promise me. This is the final request of a man about to die. At this moment of impending death, the children Gyo Mei Jaime Jima once cared for at the temple appear before him again. Over the years, they've always been waiting for Gyo Mei Jaime Jima. They always wanted to apologize to him for that night. That night they weren't trying to escape, because they knew their teacher couldn't see. So, they wanted to grab farming tools outside the temple to fight the demon. I wanted to call other adults for help. They were very sorry. They shouldn't have driven Gyo Mei Jaime Jima out of the temple, but they had their reasons for doing so. They planned to explain to Gyo Mei Jaime Jima the next day, but an unexpected disaster struck, leaving them with no tomorrow. Learning the truth, Gyo Mei Jaime Jima feels some self-blame. I'm sorry I couldn't protect you all. Seeing Gyo Mei Jaime Jima apologize, the children embrace him. Don't apologize. We love you the most, teacher. So we've always been waiting for you. The regret in his heart is resolved. Gyo Mei Jaime Jima passes away in peace. At this moment, Mitsuriken Roji, heavily injured, lies in the arms of Obanai Iguro, also heavily injured. Iguro-sensei, have we won? Yes, we've won. Muzan Ki Butsuji is dead. At this moment, Mitsuriken Roji no longer feels any pain. She knows her time is running out. Obanai Iguro is the same. I'm almost done too. So don't be afraid. You won't be alone. But Mitsuriken Roji really doesn't want Iguro-sensei to die. And Mitsuriken Roji blames herself deeply. Until the very end, I couldn't help at all. That's not true. Don't talk about yourself like that. Do you remember the first time we met? That scene. Iguro-sensei helped me when I was lost at the master's estate. Obanai Iguro tells Mitsuriken Roji it's the opposite. It was because I met you that day, a girl who seemed so ordinary, that I was saved. You have a smile as clear as a silver bell. You get flustered over small things. Even after experiencing countless painful heartbreaks and becoming a Hashira, you're still so optimistic. Talking with you is really enjoyable. It makes people feel like they've returned to being a happy, ordinary youth. Surely the other Hashira feel this. Your optimism and almost boundless kindness, invisibly, have saved countless wounded hearts. So hold your head high. As long as I'm here, no one can speak ill of you. Hearing Iguro's words, Mitsuriken Roji is truly happy and says she really likes Iguro-sensei. Eating with Iguro-sensei is the most delicious because Iguro-sensei always looks at people with such gentle eyes. Iguro-sensei, thanks to you, if in the next life Mitsuriken Roji is reborn as a human, can you marry Mitsuriken Roji? Of course, as long as you don't mind me. In the next life, I'll protect you well, give you a happy, fulfilling life. At the same time, Muichiro Takitu, in a dazzling light, sees his younger brother and sister. Muichiro Takitu is curious about his mother hiding in the darkness. Why doesn't mom come over there? Even though Muichiro Takitu tightly holds his mother's hand, his mother still says she can't go there. I harmed my own child, so I don't deserve to be with them. Learning the truth, Muichiro Takitu immediately says, then I'll go with mom. If I leave too soon, Genyu will be very sad. Mom, let me carry you to hell. But their father appears at this moment, stopping both of them. Let go, you don't have to go with that old man. Whether it's this side or that side, it's not a place you should go. You're my child. Your bones are still strong. At this moment, Fu Gang has recovered, searching for Tanjiro's figure in the crowd. But when Fu Gang finds Tanjiro, he sees him motionless, kneeling on the ground. And those who treated Tanjiro say that at this moment, Tanjiro no longer breathes, nor has a pulse. At that moment, Fu Gang knows Tanjiro has lost his life. He deeply regrets not protecting Tanjiro. Every time I'm the one protected by others. Please forgive me. At the same time, Enizuko, who has turned back into a human, finally arrives at the battlefield. Though Muzenki Butsuji is dead, he created an even more terrifying existence. Demon King Tanjiro, at the moment of his death, Muzenki Butsuji injected all his blood into Tanjiro's body. Though Tanjiro no longer breathes or has a heartbeat, the cells in his body haven't completely died. In Muzenki Butsuji's eyes, there's still time, injecting all his blood and power into Tanjiro's body. If Tanjiro doesn't die from the invasion of Muzenki Butsuji's blood and survives, then at that moment, he will become the strongest demon king, surpassing the sunlight. After all, Hei's Enizuka's older brother. The same blood flows through their bodies. Moreover, Hei's the only person in the world who can use sun breathing like that monster. Until this moment, Muzenki Butsuji has to admit the words he once said. All living things will eventually die. Only willpower is eternal and indestructible. Though he himself will turn to ash under the sunlight, his eternal willpower will still have someone to inherit it. In reality, Muzenki Butsuji's entire life was always surrounded by the shadow of death. When still in his mother's womb, Muzenki Butsuji's heart stopped beating several times. When born, Muzenki Butsuji had no pulse, nor a heartbeat, to the point that the midwife thought it was a stillbirth. Until he was about to be cremated, Muzenki Butsuji struggled to let out his first cry. So in the years that followed, Muzenki Butsuji always pursued eternity. He relentlessly worked toward his soul wish and turned it into reality through action. However, he later realized the things an individual can do are limited. At the moment of his impending death, Muzenki Butsuji acknowledges Yaoze's words. All living things will eventually die. Only willpower is eternal and indestructible. And the truth is exactly as Yaoze Ai said. For those humans who died by my hand, I have no impression of them. To them, the death of the body is the end. But what's the truth? Willpower passed down from generation to generation like an eternal unextinguished flame. Even someone as powerful as me was ultimately defeated by it. Muzenki Butsuji is stunned by the truth before him, trembling, shedding tears, and his body will soon be destroyed by the sunlight. But Muzenki Butsuji believes his willpower will be inherited by those who inherit that willpower. His willpower, like that of you humans, is eternal and indestructible. He pours all his willpower into Tanjiro's body. Though he himself is about to die, his pursuit of eternity will still have someone to inherit it. Muzenki Butsuji firmly believes Tanjiro will not die. He will surely inherit his wish and wipe out all the demon hunters in his place. At the same time outside, the members surrounding Tanjiro are grieving over Tanjiro's death. However, right after that, Tanjiro, who had lost his pulse and heartbeat, opens his eyes again, and the arm lost in the battle with Muzenki Butsuji miraculously regenerates in an instant. And in Fu Gang's incredulous gaze, Tanjiro regrows his arm and swings his hand toward the member beside him. Fortunately, Fu Gang reacts immediately, acting in time, saving the member. Nearly struck by Tanjiro, the member standing behind Tanjiro is also somewhat incredulous. Tanjiro, once gentle and kind, why would he attack his own comrades? However, right after that, they see Tanjiro's ferocious and strange appearance. And because of the sunlight burning him, Tanjiro's body is disintegrating. Witnessing all this, everyone feels an unbelievable thought surge within. Tanjiro awakened seems to have turned into a demon. Fu Gang, with his rich combat experience, immediately reacts. Everyone still able to move, grab your weapons at once. Tanjiro has turned into a demon. We must quickly, before Tanjiro kills anyone, pin him under the sunlight to destroy him. After being burned by the sunlight, Tanjiro immediately tries to flee into the darkness, but Fu Gang acts at once to restrain Tanjiro and keeps him under the sunlight. Fu Gang is very clear. If he had hesitated even slightly earlier, the member just now would have died at Tanjiro's hands. He's the hero who killed Muzan Kibutsuji, so Fu Gang hopes Tanjiro will pass away under the sunlight like this. But Fu Gang quickly discovers in shock, the burning by the sunlight only lasts a moment before stopping. Tanjiro is no longer restrained by the sunlight, and immediately attacks Fu Gang, who is holding him. And from a distance, Yushiro, witnessing everything, when Tanjiro launches another attack, steps in to stop him. Tanjiro, what are you doing? Look clearly, these are your comrade, your family. However, when Tanjiro ferociously glares at everyone, Zenitsu and the Hashira freeze in place for a moment. Everyone is covered in wounds, with no strength left to fight. You've turned into this. What about your sister Enizuko? Tanjiro, having lost his reason, mercilessly attacks his former comrades. But the three of them, though not bound by blood, are like true siblings. They once vowed, if any of them ever strays down the wrong path, the other two must do everything to stop them. But facing Tanjiro's Nichiren blade, Zenitsu cannot bring himself to strike. Even facing Tanjiro, who has turned into a demon, Zenitsu's attack still cannot be unleashed. Come back! Turn back into the gentle, kind Tanjiro. When Tanjiro bites Enizuko, perhaps everyone thinks it's all over. The gentle, kind Tanjiro, before everyone's eyes, hurts his own sister. Everyone finds it hard to believe, watching everything unfold before them. It turns out Demon King Muzan Kibutsuji, at the moment of his own destruction, injected all his blood and power into Tanjiro's body. Tanjiro, who was nearly dead, after receiving Muzan Kibutsuji's blood, immediately revives. But the awakened Tanjiro has turned into a demon, and in a few short seconds, he fulfills Muzan Kibutsuji's 1,000-year wish, a demon body that can walk under the sunlight. Enizuko, who has turned back into a human, finally arrives at the battlefield at this moment. But the brother who loves his sister most, after seeing his sister, bites down on her. However, Enizuko tightly embraces Tanjiro. Enizuko is very sorry. It's all because I didn't know anything before, that my brother had to bear everything alone. Why does he always have to suffer like this? Why are those who strive to survive always mercilessly trampled by demons? Enizuko is truly furious. It was clearly just a little bit more. Brother, don't lose. You absolutely must not turn into a demon. Let's go home together, okay? Perhaps because of his sister's words, Tanjiro releases his bite on Enizuko, but when his hands retract, they tear Enizuko's body. Seeing this situation, Zenitsu immediately holds Tanjiro tightly. Tanjiro, look clearly. That's Enizuko. She's turned back into a human. If you keep causing chaos, she'll die. Don't you hear her calling you brother? At the same time, a powerful punch strikes the head of the roaring Tanjiro. What are you roaring for? Don't hurt Enizuko. I know too well. You're absolutely not that kind of person. Come back. Turn back into the gentle, kind Tanjiro. However, Tanjiro at this moment launches an attack. Everyone surrounding Tanjiro is knocked away. Only Enizuko remains by his side. And until this moment, Enizuko is still calling her brother. Brother, don't lose. You absolutely must not turn into a demon. At the same time, Fu Gang realizes the severity. Tanjiro bit Enizuko. He's tasted blood. They must quickly before Tanjiro harms others. Help him find release. But at this moment, neither the glowing red Nichiren blade, nor the sunlight, can harm the current Tanjiro. There's no way to destroy him now. Right after that, a bolt of lightning strikes in front of Tanjiro. Zuko doesn't want her brother to harm others, so she reaches out to block that attack. Such an attack, Zuko in her current state cannot withstand. But her arm isn't destroyed because of it. The events unfolding on the battlefield finally make Fu Gang realize why, with bleeding prey right before him, Tanjiro doesn't devour it, and why that lightning bolt deliberately missed. Fu Gang realizes, even as a demon, Tanjiro hasn't given up. If they can help Tanjiro regain his consciousness, there might still be hope. But in their current state, is there really any way to create this miracle? Yushiro, hiding in the darkness, angrily curses Muz and Kibutsuji. You've already turned to ash, yet you still find ways to trouble the survivors. And his blood demon art, because of the sunlight, quickly turns to dust. At this moment, Yushiro can no longer help. At the same time, Kanao Tsuyuri, heavily injured, steps toward the battlefield where Tanjiro is. And in her hand, she holds the last dose of medicine to turn demons back into humans. This is the medicine Shino Bukochoge, researched from wisteria flowers. She once worried the dosage used for Zuko wasn't enough, so she researched more as a precaution. But Lady Ju developed 3 types of medicine that can turn demons back into humans. Since they weren't needed, Lady Ju entrusted them to Kanao Tsuyuri to keep. Kanao Tsuyuri, tearfully thinking that the reason she still has one eye that can see is probably for this moment. After all, Tanjiro just turned into a demon, so there's still time. Even with only one eye, she can still dodge Tanjiro's attacks. In an extremely weakened state, she uses flower-breathing middle form, like Inosuke, dodging fatal attacks, reaching Tanjiro, successfully injecting the medicine to turn demons back into humans, into Tanjiro's body. And Tanjiro, who was confronting Muz and Kibutsuji, thanks to everyone's efforts, gradually hears sounds from the outside. No way! Tanjiro must not let his sister Zuko cry. This is absolutely one of the most iconic scenes of Demon Slayer, facing Tanjiro, who is about to turn back into a human. Muz and Kibutsuji begs Tanjiro not to leave. Please, Tanjiro, don't abandon me. In this world, only you can do it. Don't you understand? You're the one chosen by the gods. Only you can become the perfect supreme being. Just moments ago, Kanao Tsuyuri luckily dodged Tanjiro's attack, reaching his side, injecting the medicine to turn demons back into humans, into Tanjiro's body. And Tanjiro, who never gave up, under the medicine's effect, hears the sounds from the outside again. It's Zuko's voice calling her brother. Let's go home together. Well, go home together. Hearing his sister's call, Tanjiro desperately wants to return. But at this moment, he's truly exhausted. Tanjiro prays to the gods, hoping the gods will allow him and Zuko to return to their hometown. However, Muz and Kibutsuji appears before Tanjiro at this moment. What's the point of going back? Your family died long ago. Even if you return to that house full of burned flowers, what's the point? However, that place holds Tanjiro's happy memories. As long as he and Zuko are still alive, they won't disappear, so he must return. But Muz and Kibutsuji mercilessly shatters Tanjiro's illusions. Abandon your meaningless thoughts. Zuko is dead, and she died by your hand. You must have smelled the blood of your comrades. It's all you're doing. They all hate you. No one wants you to return, but Tanjiro wants to return, to apologize to those he harmed. Even though Muz and Kibutsuji tells Tanjiro, even apologies won't earn forgiveness. But Tanjiro knows clearly these are Muz and Kibutsuji's lies. Because normally Tanjiro knows everyone cares for him. But seeing Tanjiro's optimistic attitude, Muz and Kibutsuji furiously shouts to shut up. You must inherit my will. I won't allow you to be optimistic. I want to allow you to trust others. And I want to allow you to hold hope. Don't forget, unless you become a demon, you'll pay the price for the mark appearing. If not in a few years, you'll die for sure. You must show complete selfishness. Seize the endless life before you. But Tanjiro chooses the path of Gyō-mei Haimijima. Born as a human, dying as a human is our pride. I don't care about that endless life. I want to return to everyone. However, Muzan Kibutsuji's next words completely shattered Tanjiro's belief in returning. So many people have died. How do you have the face to survive alone? At that moment, Tanjiro agrees with Muzan Kibutsuji's words. I really don't deserve to return. However, the hands of his comrades lift Tanjiro up high. Even though Muzan Kibutsuji tells Tanjiro, those hands are all your illusions. But Tanjiro smells Shinobu Kocho's scent. It's the scent of wisteria flowers. From the wisteria flowers, hands reach out, welcoming Tanjiro back. At the same time, Onizuka's voice rings out, brother, let's go home together. Facing Tanjiro, who is about to leave, Muzan Kibutsuji finally panics, don't go to that side. Tanjiro, let go and come back to me. You've surpassed even the sunlight. You're the rarest, strongest being. Don't you hear the resentment of those who died? They're all screaming. Why is it only you who survives? Why did I lose everything? Well, you retreat unscathed. But Tanjiro knows. Everything Muzan Kibutsuji says is a lie, because he knows clearly what the people in the Demon Slayer Corps are like. They all willingly sacrificed their lives for others. They all hoped others wouldn't have to endure the pain and sorrow they went through. However, facing Tanjiro gradually leaving, Muzan Kibutsuji abandons all dignity. Wait, Tanjiro, I beg you, inherit my will and become the Demon King. In this world, only you can do it. Don't you understand? You're the one chosen by the gods. Only you can become the perfect supreme being. But the concern and encouragement from his comrades make Tanjiro's belief in returning unwavering. Come back, Tanjiro. Don't lose to him. Under everyone's urging, Tanjiro finally breaks free from Muzan Kibutsuji's hold. After becoming the strongest Demon King for a moment, he turns back into a human. And in that world, only Muzan Kibutsuji remains screaming alone. Don't go, Tanjiro. Don't leave me alone. And in the real world, everyone in the Demon Slayer Corps surrounds Tanjiro. When Tanjiro wakes up, everyone cheers that he's back. Tanjiro has turned back into a human. One Hashira tells Tanjiro, the small injuries you caused are nothing. However, Zenitsu goes to Onizuka's side. You owe me for life. Kana Otsuyuri lying nearby happily watches Tanjiro, who has turned back into a human, while Yushiro, hiding in the darkness, holds Jushi's memento alone. Though the battle is over, he has forever lost his beloved Lady Jushi. They paid an immense price, losing many true aspirations. The battle between the Demon Slayer Corps and Muzan Kibutsuji finally comes to an end. At the same time, the final meeting of the 9 Hashira takes place. After the decisive battle, only the Wind Hashira and Water Hashira survive, though many young ones perished in the fierce final battle. But fortunately, we succeeded in defeating the demon, and Hualizi AI, as the master declares, the Demon Slayer Corps is officially disbanded today. The master of the Yubuyashiki family expresses his deepest gratitude to everyone. Thank you all for over this long time, risking your lives, devoting yourselves to fighting demons for humanity. Seeing this situation, S.A. Animishai Nazuga Washington and Fugang immediately say, please raise your head. You don't need to apologize to us. The Demon Slayer Corps could exist until now, thanks to the Yubuyashiki family's greatest contributions, and Lord Hualizi AI strategizing behind the scenes, leading everyone to bravely defeat Muzan Kibutsuji, surely makes Lord Rei Yao and the ancestors proud. Completing the mission to slay Muzan Kibutsuji, their efforts received the highest recognition, but Hualizi AI moved sheds tears. At the Butterfly Mansion 3 months later, it's a day when cherry blossoms bloom vibrantly. The wounds from the decisive battle have mostly healed. The three young ones gather together. Enizuko, who has turned back into a human, is by her brother's side. But the arm that regrew after becoming a demon has become shriveled, unable even to clench a fist, only able to lift and lower the entire arm, and from the elbow down, there's no sensation at all. The restored eye has only just recovered, but has no vision. Compared to himself, Tanjiro is more worried about his sister's body. Though Enizuko says she's completely fine, Tanjiro still apologizes. The place where I bit you will surely leave a scar. Facing her brother's apology, Enizuko angrily says to her brother, "Does anyone really care about that? Don't apologize anymore. If you do it again, I'll flick your forehead." But having my brother turn back into a human is really great. When Fugang Sensei saw me bite you, he even thought it was all over. Enizuko says everyone would think that. Even I thought a few times that my brother would never come back. According to Yushiro Sensei, the reason I could recover is all thanks to the medicine from Lady Shai no Bukocho, and that first bite on you was a stroke of luck in misfortune. He sent since you were once a demon. After turning back into a human, you had antibodies. That's what made you immune to Muzan Kibutsuyi's cells. According to Yushiro's guess, whether it's the medicine from Lady Shai no Bukocho or that first bite on Enizuko, if either was missing, you might not have turned back into a human. You really are favored by the heavens. Then Yushiro shows an incredibly gentle expression. This journey has been really tough for you. You're truly amazing, Tanjiro. Facing Yushiro's praise, Tanjiro immediately expresses, "Thanks to everyone's help, I could make it to today." But right after that, Yushiro's sharp tongue reappears. "I was just kidding. You didn't actually believe it, did you? You're just an ordinary guy. Looking at your face annoys me. I'm leaving, goodbye." But as Yushiro is about to leave, Tanjiro speaks of Yushiro-sensei. "Don't die no matter what. After all, in the end, you're the only one who will always remember Lady Jushai." And when everyone learns Tanjiro has recovered, they come to visit Tanjiro. They all know Tanjiro can finish his recovery tomorrow. Tengen invites Tanjiro, "Come visit us sometime. This is our address and phone number. Once you're settled, come hang out." At the same time, Senruro also comes, but shyly stands at the door, not daring to enter. Thanks to Senruro's pull, he comes to Tanjiro's side. "I heard you always carried Kyoruro's blade to fight. Thank you so much. If Kyoruro knew, I'd surely be very happy." Tanjiro immediately explains nervously, "No way. Thanks to Kyoruro Sensei's encouragement before, I could fight until today. I'm the one who should be thankful." At the same time, everyone from the Sodsmith village and the support staff come too, as if they'd planned it. Knowing Tanjiro will leave tomorrow, they all come to say goodbye to Tanjiro. And I know Suke, feeling hungry in this lively scene, sneaks out to the kitchen. I know Suke starts stealing food from the table, but just after the first bite, he's caught by Ko-ai. "What are you stealing now?" Though I know Suke immediately says he didn't. The food crumbs on his mouth make I know Suke's like collapse. At the same time, I know Suke is curious. Why did she catch him so quickly? Is she really that skilled too? Then, Ko-ai brings a plate to I know Suke. "From now on, this is your own plate. If you're hungry, eat from this. You can eat anything on this plate anytime." At the same time, Tanjiro comes to Kana Otsuyuri. Meeting Kana Otsuyuri again, Tanjiro only feels she's truly gentle. Tanjiro worriedly asks about her injuries. "How's your eye now?" Kana Otsuyuri says though her eye is damaged, it's not completely blind, and the wound no longer hurts. "Actually, Jutami Oka just came here." Hearing this, Tanjiro says, "I also want to greet him." Kana Otsuyuri immediately says, "If you want to go. He's probably still at the Butterfly Mansion. He entrusted Snake Hashira's friend Kabumaru to me to take care of. He's really smart." At the same time, on the other side, Enizuko and Muichi rode to Ki to meet again. Since he once harmed the girl before him, Meeting Enizuko again, Ichiro Takita feels a bit guilty. Fortunately, Enizuko breaks the silence first. Ichiro Takita apologizes for what he did before, and heard that after defeating Muzan Kibutsuji, another major incident happened. But as a Hashira, I was unconscious, and ended up not helping at all. Enizuko immediately says, I slept for nearly 2 years before. Compared to me, that's nothing. Besides, my brother, after the fierce battle, was also unconscious for a month, and I love sleeping. After Enizuko says this, Ichiro Takita feels like he sees his younger brother. I love sleeping the most. When you sleep, you're not hungry anymore. Ichiro Takita too, as if seeing his brother, gently pats Enizuka's head. But seeing this, Zenitsu gets extremely angry. What's that guy doing? Jutami Oka, that jerk. What's going on? Then the 3 young ones and Enizuko go to pay respects to the fallen swordsman. But at their current pace, they might not make it to Tanjiro's house. And Zenitsu, with his rough nerves, immediately thinks of a solution, throws the flowers in his hand around, and proudly says, isn't this good enough? After handling everything, Tanjiro also returns to his hometown. They kneel before their parents' and siblings' graves. Thanks to the help of many people, Enizuko and I survived and returned, though many lost their lives. But everyone united to fulfill our wish. No matter what terrifying difficulties we face later, we'll help each other to keep living. Because of everyone's sacrifices we have today, and we'll do our best to strive toward tomorrow. And at that moment, their parents and siblings appear beside Tanjiro and Enizuko. They've always been waiting for their 2 children to return. And at that moment, Tanjiro and Enizuko also feel their family's presence. At that moment, both know their family never disappears. They've always been waiting for them to return. And Tanjiro, returning here, also received help from the townspeople. The house was completely renovated. The tatami and eaves were replaced. Clearly, these things aren't cheap. Tanjiro says, next time I must bring something to visit. Zenitsu happily looks at the scenery here. This is the place that raised Tanjiro and his sister Enizuko high. It's great, it feels so warm here. And I know Suke nervously looks at the scratches on the doorframe. Everyone be careful. These scratches, even I haven't seen them before. Tanjiro immediately explains. These are marks from measuring heights with family before. Look, to distinguish who's who, he even wrote names. And I know Suke, always competitive, immediately says, I want to measure too. I want to surpass everyone, though Enizuko tells everyone, let's measure later. If we don't hurry and clean up, it'll get dark. Seeing this, I know Suke immediately rolls on the floor. I don't care, I want to measure now. With no choice against I know Suke, everyone has to measure for I know Suke. In this battle, everyone gave their all, hoping they all have a bright future. May cheerful smiles always remain on the faces of these sincere people. May they be happy, no longer threatened by hopeless disasters. Even if at that time I can no longer be by their side, I hope they can live well and keep living.